Hello everyone and welcome back to CodeWithTinodra. In today's tutorial, we'll learn how to create a professional CV using HTML and CSS. Why settle for static, generic templates when you can build a fully customizable CV that reflects your unique style and skills? By the end of this video, you'll have a visual appealing CV that's easy to update, can be hosted online for free using GitHub pages, and can be exported as a PDF whenever you need it. So without further ado, let's dive in. I would like you to have your editor of your choice open. In my case, I have Visual Studio Code. So let's create our first file. So index.html, let's save it at our project. And now what you want to do is hit exclamation mark and enter. So for the title, let's say CV project. Or we can say my CV. Now also let's go ahead and create our style.css, and let's not forget to import that CSS into our index.html file. So to do that, let's create a link tag and have the href tag pointing to where our file is. So in our case, we can say style.css. Now inside our body, we're going to have a main tag with a class of container. And inside that main tag, we'll have a div with a class of main info. So inside this div, we want, first of all, an HR line and a h1 tag having our name. So in our case, let's say code with a break tag, Tinodra. And after that h1 tag, we can have a p tag and having a short description. So for me, I can say software developer with 5 years of experience in the field. We can have a simple description there. And now we want to have another div. So let's have a div. And for this one, we can give it a class of contact info. In this, we want to have two other divs. So that's one and that's two. The second one, we are going to give it a class of my image, let's say, or my photo. And inside that div, we can have an image tag. And inside this one, what we can do is have a list. So let's do UL. We can have a list and have maybe 4 elements. The first one having our email. So let's do code with Tinodra at gmail.com. For the second one, let's have a random number. Also our address, let's say USA, Florida. And we can have our any other links, maybe GitHub. So let's say, or yeah, anything. GitHub and have a link tag. So actually these will have link tags inside them. So when someone clicks on them, it will redirect them. For the email, I will have one. And for the GitHub, we can have one also. So GitHub will be that one. So here, let's say and code with Tinodra. And this will have also an href. For the number and the location, we don't need to have it. Now, what we can do is get ourselves an image, which I generated one using AI. So this is a fake photo. Here we go. And we're going to use that fake photo as our CV image. So let's save that and let's go live. And here it is. So we want it to look like this. This is the expected output if you open up the page for now. So now let's go ahead and let's style it. So we want the container. So let's start with the container. And we want the container to have a width of 60%, let's say. Okay, let's save that. Before doing that, let's give some default configurations here. So let's have margin to all elements as 0, padding to all elements as 0. Let's set the box sizing to border box. Okay. For the body tag, we can have a background of linear gradient, which I already chose which one, so I'm just going to paste it here. Okay. Let's see, we have our server started, so let's see how it looks. Okay, this is nice. Now let's go back, and for the container, let's give it a background color of white. Okay. And now what we want to do is have our body displayed as flex. So let's do display of flex. And we want to justify the content to the center. Also, let's align our items to the center too. And for body, let's give it a height of 100 view height. Okay. Let's see how it looks now. Okay, this is good. So let's get back to our code. And for the HR, so inside our container, actually inside our main info div, we have an HR. So let's select that. HR. We want its width to be like 10 rems. And for it to have a color of red. And also a border of 2 pixels solid red. Let's save that. And let's go back to our page. And that seems okay. Now also, we want to give this container some padding. So padding, let's say 2 rem on all sides. Okay, this is looking much better now. Now let's go ahead and style our name and move these ones to the right. So let's go ahead and do that. So main info. All right, so we will have our, this instead of container. Okay, we can have it as container, but what else we'll do is have a header here and place all of this, so our main info div and our contact info div inside that header. Okay, now we are going to select that header. Let's say header and display it as flex. Then let's justify the content space between. Back to our page. This is the expected output. Okay. Now for this, the right side, we want the image to be around here and this small. And for the text, do not have these bullets. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's grab our contact info div, and let's say contact info. We're going to give it a display of flex. Back to our page, and that's looking much better. Now for the image, let's say contact info image. We're going to give it a height of 10, let's say 15 rems, and a width of 8 rems. So let's see how that looks. Okay, we want it to be a bit shorter and wider. So instead of that, let's do 13 and 9. And we want that image to actually be on the top here. So how much padding there is? There is 2 rems of padding on the top. So we can say transform and translate y minus 2 rems. And yeah, as we can see now, the image is aligned with the top. And will be always aligned because rem is a dynamic value and it changes. And because both are 2 rems, it will always stay on the top here. Okay, now let's go ahead and style these. And for this, we will also want some icons. So I grab these icons, and as you can see, we have an envelope icon, a phone icon, location, and a GitHub icon. So you can write these because I got them from Font Awesome. Do not waste time. And now we can refresh our page. And one more thing we need to do is grab the Font Awesome CDN from CDN.js. Yeah, here we go, CDN.js. Let's grab one. And yeah, here we go. Make sure you grab the latest version of Font Awesome so the icons will appear. Now let's go ahead and style these. So here, what we're going to do, see how they look. First, they look okay, aligned. Back to our style CSS, and we'll give a list style type of none to remove those bullet points. Okay, those are gone. And now coming to the individual icons, what we're going to do is grab our contact info here and grab the UL, LI, I tag. For those, we're going to say color of red. That's looking nice. And then copy that line. We are going to have the LIs displayed as flags and justify content space. Okay. Now let's copy the line again. And we're going to give the UL some margin to the right of 1 rem. Also the LIs, going to give them some hue. Actually, let's give it to the individual icons. So let's say margin left of 1 rem. Save. Looking much better now. Now one more thing. We're going to have the UL or list displayed as flex. And the flex direction is going to be column. And we are going to have some gap. It will be a row gap of 1 rem. Okay, as we can see, this is looking better now. So what else we're going to do is our li, we have them text aligned. Let's not have it as flex then, and yes. Okay. And we want to change the color of these to another color. So let's say we want a grayish color, something like this. So let's do li. Here, let's say color of one gray. Also, we want the a text to have that too, and we don't want a text to have any text decoration, because right now they have kind of line. So let's say text decoration of none. Okay, and now you can copy that line and say li a tag, have it, give it a color of gray too. Yeah, you can see. Now let's find our GitHub name to place there. Go to profile, copy my username, back to the code, and for that a tag, let's give the href to that. Fresh, go back on that. And as you can see, we'll be redirected, but we don't want it to redirect the same page, but want it to open a new tab, then go to that link, something like this. So to do that, so let's target underscore blank. So now, if you go back to the page, click that, it will open a new tab. Nice. For the email, we're going to say something. Go back. Go here. Where is the email? Let's copy our email and let's say mail to two dots column, and we'll open our email. Now let's go ahead and let's style this part. So for the HR, and we're going to give our HR some margin to the bottom. This is the margin button of 2 rems. Save, back to our page, and this is like 2 pixels. Okay. Good here. So for this one, we want to have the same color as these and to have some margin at the top. So let's just write ahead a bit. We have, that is a p tag inside our main. So let's find our main here. So tag, let's say margin top of 1 rem and the same color as this. Okay, this is looking better now. Now let's go ahead and have some more padding HR at the top. To margin, I meant margin, top of 4 rems. That's looking better. And what we want to do is have these at the bottom to be aligned with the bottom of the image. Now we are going to give the second div, let's give it a class of contact. Save, go back here. Dot contact info. Dot contact will have a height of the same as the image. So let's find our image. Here's our image. Yeah. So it has a height of 30. Let's have the same height here. Actually have a height of 100%. Okay, but instead of our contact, we want to have this as justify content and okay, but so the image is translated to rams to the top. So instead of having 13 there, we're going to have 12. And as we can see now, it is aligned with our image. But now we also want this to be more up, back to our tag, instead of 4, let's say 3. Save back, and this looks better. So this will be it for this part, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We got it down for our header. And on the next video, we're going to go and have our work experience and our skills this side. So if you enjoyed it, hit the like and comment if you have any questions. Also subscribe for any more content like this. And as always, I will see you in the next one.